Throw away your stuff. We're going.
After enforcement? What enforcement?
If nobody's going to be an advocate for you, that's my job. So my job's to advocate for this potential victim that we have here. There's at the very least, shout out to whoever helped these writers do a better job. You have elevated my expectations. I am preseason Cowboys fan right now. Or this is our year. We're going to do it. There are some things that they do that's not misconduct, but it's probably not desirable. And there's stuff that really skirts the line on legal. Sometimes you don't get to pick the battles that you got. So let's see. No wonder not. What is going on, internet? And welcome back to Only Cops. Today, me and Bill are riding two-man with episode 1, season 1. This is the pilot of a show called On Call from Amazon Prime. We got a couple of requests for this. I actually got some ads for this. I did too myself. So I have stopped myself from watching this, even though our Discord's watched it a few times. So we're going to try to see if we can watch this and give you guys our feedback on how realistic this is. You guys like The Rookie? We'll see you guys like this. We're going to go take a look at On Call.
I saw a couple commercials last night during the game.
Yeah, the commercials have looked cool. I'm tentatively optimistic. We'll see. Yeah. The writers' rooms have turned to hurt me. This is worse than my relationship with the Cowboys. So we'll see. We'll see how they do here.
Very Southland-esque intro.
Also, the name On Call is normally referred to like you're not on duty, you're just on call.
Yeah. Or you're on a call.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Did Elliot Wolf have anything to do with Southland? That name sounds familiar.
Hell yeah. Okay, pause it real quick.
Oh no. Is that the PA mic?
100% the PA mic, but I'll forgive it. We've gone down this road as much as we can. I will say this. So far, outside of the PA mic thing, I did like that she's just driving around and like the camera kind of, without saying anything, the camera kind of zooms in on the plate.
Yeah.
And she did it the same way. I didn't have an LPR. Neither Bill or I ever had LPRs in our cars. We had to hand type the plate in. She typed and ran the plate first to see what the return was and then decided to pull it over afterwards. I respect that. Game respects game. You get it, girlfriend. I don't know what this lady's name is, but shout out Officer Wrong Handpiece.
Elliot Wolf was Law and Order, not Southland. Okay. Old school Impala.
Mm-hmm.
Rolling PC.
Yeah, it's definitely a guilty car.
You can't profile cars.
Hey, look who it is.
What up, Officer Delgado?
You back on good paper already?
Yeah, been off probation a month now, I'm staying low.
Do me a favor, keep your hands where I can see him. Turn the car
Oh
off.
boy, with a 1,000-yard stare in the back seat.
See your ride?
Still me papa.
You know his tags are expired?
Shit, he didn't say anything to me about that.
You been partying? What's up with her?
No, she just tired, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah? You cruising me looking high for dates now?
Charlie, why you gotta mess with me like that?
Seriously, man, how old is she?
Alright, look, I'm gonna keep it straight with you. Alright, she ate a bunch of gummies, knocked her ass sideways. I'm just trying to get her home safely, you know what I mean?
Wake her up and step out of the vehicle.
Fuck, are you serious?
All three of you. Let's go, nice and slow.
Man, this shit ain't right. You just
No
need to pull
backup?
people over for
I was
nothing
about
now.
to say
Yo,
that.
is that thing on? I want everyone to see how you fucking with me.
Yo, I'm not gonna ask again. Out of the car, now. 4 Charlie 92.
Whoa, hold the phone. Bro, this is an LAPD or at least LA adjacent and she's got a handpiece? Bro. Officer
Also,
Delgado. I'm gonna put some respect on that name.
I respect the increase in officer presence there.
Yes. And it's a subtle, so it's the first glance, this girl's just like a little bit out of it. There's nothing terribly illegal about that, right? But she keeps looking back at Mr. 1,000-yard stare, right? Who hasn't said anything, hasn't done anything. The more you get to spend time like actually getting to see him, you're starting to see some more of these potential gang affiliated tattoos, right? You're starting to get that clearly, like he's very uncomfortable with her being there. And then you're starting to piece together, you got two grown men and a very young looking woman. Even if the story is legit on this whole edibles thing,
Yeah.
this is starting to look like a duck and quack like a duck, right? This is what we say in interdiction stuff. And her elevated sense of awareness was subtle as far as the camera work, but that is how how the experience is. I do
Also,
like
the way she responded.
right. It was a very
I
big
like that
change
it
in
wasn't
tone.
like, listen, I asked you to get out of the car. Now
Right.
please step out of the vehicle.
Right.
We
And
went over that.
yeah, I normally I'm a big fan of the 7-step approach in general, given where she's policing and obviously she's familiar with the people that she's interacting with. These are usual suspects. Unfortunately, she does approach it a little bit more casually. I think it's a very good de-escalation technique, and it's implemented a lot. I think you see guys that are working in areas that are very hot like this, then yeah, you're going to talk very casually. Her reaching for her gun, I just thought about it instinctively that she kind of knows she's in the bad part of town. I used to test the retention device in my holster compulsively. I'm not seeing anything. I was just giving a push and a pull without trying to defeat it to make sure that it's there, and also to make sure it's not. We had the old Serpa holsters. They were terrible, but they would get jammed up if you did it wrong. And so I would give the button a little push, and I'd give it a little push pull to make sure I'm good, so that if I do have to take off running, my gun's going to stay where it's supposed to be. It's like a compulsive. It would be like checking
your baton
right
flies out of the holster.
I do like
carrier.
Yeah, she is totally wearing a vest. This is exactly what you'd expect an officer to wear on patrol. Her hair is slicked back. She is utilizing both an earpiece and a handpiece so that she does not having to go and pull all of her stuff off to go have communications. And you'll notice specifically in this freeze frame, she has access to, if I need deadly force right now, right here, right now, I have it. And her eyes are locked on the situation while she's doing it. This is great so far. My expectations just got elevated. I'm here for it. I'm bumped.
Oh shit.
Here we are. She took that somewhere bad too. And just like that, the writers went and betrayed me. Finally gave me an officer to root for.
Yeah. This is also very realistic.
Yeah, dude.
Oh no, she has basket weave.
Well, that's department issued. Let's be honest.
Had basket weave, I guess.
There's a chance here. My dad says, yeah, where she got hit is not a good spot.
That geyser coming out of her neck, tells me there's no chance here.
There was a lot going on in the traffic stop, obviously, and these things. It's just what they call in sports bang bang play, right? Like you're a half second faster, they're a half second slower. Somebody forgets to chamber around, whatever. But
they did do a good job.
Yeah.
Showing like how fast it happens, and when old boy has his gun in his hand and all he has to do is
raise up,
lift
and
it,
and smoke it,
and she's gotta come out of the holster and do the whole deal.
Yep. How dare she approach this car with the gun out of the holster already, or preemptively do it, or whatever. And it's sad too, because like she, not just as like a good cop, but also like a woman probably sussing out like, this chick's in kind of a bad spot. Like I need to do investigating on it, even though there's a clear and present possibility for danger for her. She goes and steps up to the plate and says, no, like if nobody's going to be an advocate for you, that's my job. So my job's to advocate for this potential victim that we have here. And we talked about backup, and we're starting to learn why, right? Once you think that you're sifting through the woods and potentially stumble upon a snake, let's make sure it's not a tiger and go ahead and get your back up there. But we'll see. So far, though, as far as the show is concerned, very, very realistic. This is all modern equipment. The tactics are pretty good. I think the approach and also the way they are choosing to show, not tell, clearly like what the officer's paying attention to, what the suspects are paying attention to in this instance, and the way that the call plays itself out. It's all very fast if you're the uninitiated. And even here, she's clearly not a rookie, right? That sometimes you get the bear and sometimes the bear gets you kind of thing. And unfortunately, in this instance, we'll see what happens. Nope, didn't make it.
No. Didn't think she would.
Fucked up, right? Same.
Pause it real quick.
Think something's off.
This was relatively new, and there's a memorial right then and there, and she hasn't made it to the permanent wall of heroes, right? There would normally be a band across your badge. This happens, I think, almost universally now, at least in America. We would do it almost for anybody across America, but definitely if it's happening regionally to you, like there's an officer that dies a few agencies over or within generally your same region. Typically, the customary thing, I think there was like the last year Bill and I were in, it was like 300 officers died in line of duty or something wild like that.
Yeah, we put that black band
I just left it on after a while.
Too many times.
yeah. But typically, it's to observe the loss of that officer, and you typically keep it on until they're buried. Is generally speaking like the way that you do it. Also, if it happened within your department, and I remember when I was a rookie. It was my very first year. I just kept the band on my uniform after a while because it happened so often.
Yeah,
but I had to take some electrical tape and put it around my badge because it is kind of like you do not want to be the rookie getting caught without that on. That's a good way to, whether it's for a good reason or not, catch the ire of a senior officer that has, again, seen this happen more than once. It's a very dangerous job. So,
I put my band on my OC pouch lid since that never got opened.
Yeah, exactly. That's literally exactly where I put mine. I had one there, and I kept it around my taser for a long time, like a taser handle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because that also never got pulled. So
that's true. After a while, that thing never came out.
That thing's set there. So that's a gnarly scar on her back. Golly.
Yeah. This
she might have been the first to respond, maybe
significant other, partner,
sister, maybe
sister.
I mean, not metaphorical, like actual.
Bring it in. Listen up.
Oh, briefing in the parking lot. Let's get after it.
Shooter. Eddie Watson. He and the piece of shit driver Juan Cortez are still believed to be in the city, but likely trying to flee. Watson is a member of the East Barrio clique. Street name Maniac. I'm not making that up. Detectives are still trying to ID the female passenger. We think she's a minor being trafficked, which could have been motive for the shooting. If you get eyes, any one of you, on either Watson or Cortez, you do not engage alone. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. I know we're all raw, but let's keep it in check. We have a multi-agency task force looking for these motherfuckers. That's their job. Your job is business as usual. Any questions?
Very realistic.
God, dude. Great lieutenant. That was spot on. And so I like it. There's no like attempt at personal drama here. Like, because there's no room for that.
Not yet.
Right. Not yet. I'm sure it's coming. Whatever. Hey, let's leave it up to this writing room to go and hurt my feelings again.
Not till we see these dudes in a car and it's just this chick and her rookie making a traffic stop, guns ablazing.
But at the very least, that is a very accurate and that's just a normal briefing because you get stuff like this happens all the time, murders, whatever. But and
there is also a multi-agency task force that would be like 24/7 looking for these dudes.
But the you being patrol, I mean, you're the tip of the spear typically in most of this stuff anyways. I can see where maybe there's definitely a discussion that's going to happen about it. But that's a lieutenant. That's good leadership. Yeah. Yes, I know. I'm going to check everybody like, hey, it's perfectly reasonable that you're upset, but like I still expect you to do your job.
Right.
And that is a threshold of professionalism that we want to see. Also like that, like she embodies a lot of what a lieutenant would probably say. They get a little bit more leash than everybody does to maybe put a little bit more flavor on what they decide to say. But that was good. That was great.
You want me to give the rookie to Roland? There's no harm taking a few days riding solo. I got him. Okay then. Be safe.
All right. Let's go. Academy taught you need 4 mags, right?
Yeah.
You also need 4 in your bailout bag. Let me get a look at you. Whoa, watch your back. You forget to shine your belt?
No, ma'am.
Take the details seriously. Polishing your boots and your belt shows you're taking the day seriously.
I'll do better, ma'am.
We didn't have to do that. So
Yeah, line inspection. I
can
get
you really
it.
polish? Can you polish basket weave?
No. I mean, I'm sure you can, but I'm sure someone has a method to do it, but I don't care enough for that. Should your equipment be in good working order? Yeah,
Yes.
Juan, stop. He gave us a hawk tour there in the background.
Different kind of polishing there. Juan.
But the I do
I also
think,
I don't love the do you want me to give the rookie to the other guy? Like if you don't think she can do the job safely and correctly, why is she
take
there?
it from her. Well, but also like take it from her. Like as opposed to leaving it up to her to go make a decision she may or may not regret, right?
Well,
Just take
but
the
if she-
decision out of her hand.
Yeah, but if she can't train and she's a training officer,
Right.
like if she's that distressed, then does she need days off? Like,
Well, and you should just do it. I think as an administrator, like, do I think that there is something to asking first? Sure.
Yeah.
And I don't know what their working relationship is.
right, we don't know
I
that
know
yet. So.
All that other stuff. But in general, I think
If this was just
leadership-
her, like if that was just her training officer, then
Right.
hey, yes, I understand that probably sucks, but you still have a job to do. If
Right.
there was a intimate relationship, like family relationship, any
Sheesh, has no business
type-
on the street.
right.
No business on the street.
Yeah.
Officer Harmon,
Oh, Diaz.
now that we got that out of the way, you can stop calling me ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Just Harmon. Give this to all my trainees day
job.
one.
Get out of jail free card. And they've all used it.
So far, every single one. Do you like Cambodian coffee, Diaz?
Yeah, I grew up on it.
Charlie 85, clear. Look at that. We already have something in common.
How much you want to bet the Cambodian coffee is in the same area as the shooting was?
I was about to say, if that's a slick FTO if I've ever seen one. I think also like that was the first time I met. It wasn't like what Harper did, where she did some weird clandestine thing on the rookie. This was a very good example of it's very professional. You show up, you're like, hey, my job's here is to evaluate you. You know, understand I'm gonna be stuck with you for a really long time. So like, let's just get these things out of the way. Like, let's just start figuring out how we're going to have a working relationship. I have to evaluate you. You have to learn. There's this like weirdness about it. That was a very good example of, I had 4.5 training officers technically. And most of them, that was the experience.
Rocket fuel. Nada. So, how'd you do at the academy?
Second in the class.
Out of how many?
2, 3.
Well, I'm sure that really reaffirmed your career choice.
It motivated me.
Where are you from?
Just over the bridge. San Pedro.
You the only badge in your family?
Yeah.
How'd that go over?
Not too good. My mom, she hates cops. Everything cool?
East Barrio hotspot.
God, I love this chick.
Hey, you want me to, go inside and check it out?
No.
Where are we?
Where are we now?
One of them just shot me. Where are we?
Nice.
The Cambodian coffee truck.
That's mobile.
Yeah, it's the one.
That's mobile.
I'm bleeding out, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, it's fine.
No, get back in here. Shut the door. What's the first commandment?
Know your use of force policies.
That's the academy answer. Out here, you need to know where you are at all times. It's life and death.
Got it.
Okay?
Yeah, got it.
Staffing shortages means no more 2-officer units. You'll be out here on your own. So study the beat maps of the area, know them like the back of your hand.
Well, that
Understand?
sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Understood.
No kidding. This is Long Beach PD. I do think this is actually a really good example. Thematically speaking, we're going to give us a bit of the police side of it and then the way they decided to illustrate it. That officer knew precisely where she was when she got shot, and it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Through a bleeding neck, she was still articulating her location, because that's what a good training will teach you how to do, right? And that's the only real lifeline she had. There was no self-rescue from a neck inflected or a neck gunshot wound. Like, there's no.
You don't want to tourniquet that one?
No, unfortunately, no. You can't do that. Pressure kind of helps. The only downside is when you're getting shot there, like, you're losing blood to the thing that helps you figure stuff out.
Yeah.
So
quickly,
really fast. So I do think that to juxtapose this against the slightly more dramatic Tim Test version of this was a good. There's like a clear way that she's trying to articulate to him, this is why it's important. We'll put you under a little bit of stress. There's no need to like needlessly stress you out.
Yeah.
But him thinking it would be appropriate in full uniform to walk into a gang member hotspot, thinking he's gonna just, because you might displace crime maybe, but all you're really doing is notifying that, hey, PD's got this area on the radar, which they already kind of know that because you're generally there.
Also, they saw your patrol car when you pulled in and parked, and any criminal activity that was going on is now done. Yeah.
And she knows that as a more experienced officer, but like he's clearly just trying to go through the motions of figuring out how to help. And she's like, let me bring him a little bit back down to earth and let him realize how much he doesn't know about all this stuff. It was a good.
She came here for a reason. So.
Right. Shout out to your girl. But this is good. Really, really good so far. I'm again re-elevating my expectations for the writers.
Oh, we got a 2735 at Ocean and 13th. Code 3 response is needed.
Okay. Let's stimulate our minds.
Fair.
This baton.
Hey.
This baton. If I had the choice to leave that in my car, I would. But
I left my expandable baton in my car.
It's likely uniform code. A place that would be disgusting enough to make you wear basket weaves, probably going to make you carry these big old short swords.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But
domestic.
Seems legit.
Asshole, I will tase you.
Okay, dude, hey. Somebody tell me what's going on.
He took my purse.
Crazy, I didn't take shit. Neighbors saw him beating on her after she refused to give him money.
That's bullshit. She doesn't have any money.
Okay, just cuff him and get him out of here. All right? Man, sit down.
Good job.
Okay. Charlie 85, I need EMS on location. I have a female with a head wound. Ma'am, is that your son? Can you go get me some ice or something from the freezer? Ma'am, tell me. Hey, it's okay. It's okay. Has he done this to you before?
Who do you mean, robbed me or beat me?
Why would he rob you?
He wants money for dope.
Okay.
No way.
So they
Put this over your eye until the paramedics get here. Or until you get hungry.
It's not his fault.
I love this chick so much. I mean, she's not wrong and he's not wrong, but I bless her giving him shit for it. She also said it was also very organic, like the until the EMS gets here, you get hungry. That's pretty good. You got a genuine chuckle out of me. That's pretty good. Figuring out what you got was the first thing that she wanted to know, right? Which makes sense because it's going to dictate where you're using force, if you're using force, or all of that. Very, very good. We talk about this a lot on the live stream. Law enforcement investigative questions. Is he your son? Are you related? What happened? Whatever. Yeah. Clearly someone got beat on. This is either a robbery or a domestic. So at least we know that we're going 10, 15 times one on one person here. Or at least putting this guy in cuffs, separating them so they can do an interview. Very, very, this is precisely a good, efficient way to work a domestic. It's very, very good. Or an assault, I guess is what this would be. Till we know.
He's gonna cool off in lockup tonight, all right?
No. We just had a little argument.
Ma'am, he assaulted you.
Yeah, he's my boy. He's a good kid. He's just, he kind of, when he gets in one of his moods,
Believe me, I get it, but you can't enable him.
Handing him over to you is the answer? I don't think so.
It's not a suggestion.
Hey, don't come in here judging me like you're better than me, okay? We're more than good, so you can leave.
Be a hero and get a statement.
Great learning experience there.
It really is.
Yeah. That's good. That's good training.
That call was a little too chaotic for him to work right off the bat.
Oh, day one.
But that's a great task for him to learn on.
Rather than getting a moon pie.
Unless she goes in the kitchen and grabs a knife and
right. Hey,
stabs
gotta learn.
him.
Gotta learn somehow.
I guess.
Hey, what's your name?
Ricky.
Answer me this, Ricky. What kind of man hits his own mother?
You don't know shit.
A shitty one.
Okay, tough guy. The cop that was shot near here a few days ago, do you know anything about that?
Not any more than you.
What about this guy? You seen him around? Goes by Maniac.
I'll let you arrest me on whatever bullshit charge you got. Not like I won't be out in an hour anyways.
Next time we show up here, you're going to be leaving in the back of an ambulance instead of a cruiser. And I am going to personally make sure that it is for an attempted murder charge. That's 5 to 7. You hear me, asshole? You get a statement?
She locked herself in the bathroom and won't come out.
Told you that bitch is crazy.
She what?
Yeah, I tried talking to her, but she just
You
yelled.
can't do anything if the academy camera goes off after enforcement.
I'm sorry, I forgot.
You forgot. Where?
Left.
Pause it.
After enforcement. What enforcement?
Yeah. But also,
okay. Here we go. It's going down a road.
yeah. So once you take someone into custody, right? And in this instance, clearly he's under arrest, right? You're responsible for their welfare. So he gets hurt from that scene to the jail. That's on you.
Yeah.
He gets hurt at the jail. It's the jail's problem, not yours, right? So typically you're going to be asking for medical to show up. They're going to refuse most of the time, but that's fine because you did your due diligence to make sure that they're being taken care of. But like it's going to be a huge policy violation if you have somebody in handcuffs detained and you're turning off body cams, dash cams, all that stuff. I didn't turn that off until I no longer had anybody in my car and I was going to write a report, or I got to the jail basically. And there was other cameras recording what was going on. That also being said, have I made threats to somebody that I've had to deal with a couple times? Sure. But these are going to be threats within the guise of my ability to do it as a law enforcement officer.
Not that you were going to beat him up and
try and
throw a false charge on him.
Yeah, I'm gonna be applying what I'm lawfully allowed to apply, and or just letting them know that every single time they screw up, I'm gonna be there to go and do something about it. That you're not gonna hurt people and someone not come to hurt you back. Yeah. That I'm allowed to say. That's perfectly lawful and within my ability to do. Not some weird trumped up charge and that he's leaving in a body bag or whatever. Like, you can't be saying that. Yikes. I am still team her for a little bit, but that's a sussy. I'd be, if I was a fellow officer, you'd be an eyebrow raised. Like, you need to fucking cool.
That's -5 for me, buddy.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Let's go see. My money's on she's ODing in this bathroom.
Ma'am, open up. We are still conducting an investigation. Ma'am. Take the door.
Oh, fuck.
Oh.
Wow.
Is that EMS?
Called it.
Yeah.
Jesus, I told you. We're good.
Gloves. Gloves. -5 for gloves.
Also, I don't know what's supposed to be in the syringe, but intramuscular in your thigh, not the best.
Yeah.
Administration site.
Due to experience in law enforcement. I'm assuming with the syringe that this is likely, not to give you guys a crash course on drug usage, but a lot of times you'll see this on like harder drugs, stuff like heroin. Kind of what I thought, generally speaking, if the son's using and able to stay there, potentially mom's using, especially if she was really adverse to law enforcement showing up. It's a good clue that you're likely dealing with paraphernalia and whatnot. As far as them forcing entry in there, she did get assaulted. Went into a bathroom and is
she
now
had a head
unresponsive.
injury.
Right.
So.
You're going to have exigency at the very minimum on the welfare check side of it to make sure that she's okay, and they're likely saving her life. They're gonna hit her with some Narcan.
It's articulatable for sure.
Yeah. Interior door, likely made out of like, I don't know, paper.
Particle board.
Yeah. That first shove should have done it. Also, you kick doors, you don't shoulder them, but it is what it is.
Maintenance light was on. That checks out.
That does check out.
Sir, can I see your hands? License and registration, please.
That
Where
California
you coming
thing.
from?
Del Taco?
Del
Anything you feel I
Taco.
should know about?
No.
Really? Because if you're straight with me, this will go a lot easier.
I have a pipe in here.
What kind of pipe?
You don't say.
Meth?
Oh,
there meth in the
no.
car?
No. There's nothing. No drugs.
Okay.
I swear.
Okay. Keep your hands up. That's good. Take a step out of the vehicle, please.
Come on out. Turn around, please. Why'd you stop me?
Driving on expired license.
My license isn't expired. Check it.
So normally a frisk for weapons is just going to be a cursory kind of pat down, which is what he kind of was doing. Normally I'd have beef with him reaching into the pocket like that, unless he thought he felt like a weapon. But if the guy's saying, well, my ID's in my pocket, go
Yeah,
get it
check
for me,
it. Yeah.
that's not going to constitute a search. But
Yeah.
generally
Well,
speaking,
that's consent.
yeah. Well, I guess you have a consent. Yeah, verbal. I'd like to have something a little stronger than that as far as consent, because they can revoke consent, but it's whatever.
Yeah, it's on video.
He gave it up.
It's on body
the
cam.
The passenger side approach from the rookie was good, though. He didn't say anything.
Yeah.
He didn't try to interact. He just started looking to see if he was
Yep.
going to see anything weird. Great job.
It's my brother's. I'm borrowing it.
Well, your brother's license is expired. Watch him, Diaz.
Yeah, I got him. Hey. Have you tried getting clean?
Bunch of times.
Well, you got anyone that can help you? Mom? Dad? Cousin?
My dad, he's been trying to get me into a program.
Yeah, he's clean. Put him in back for now.
Turn around. Hands behind your back. Thank you. Alrighty, come on. Alright, careful. Watch your head.
Gloves. Look at her
Yes.
go.
Gloves. Split the car up into sections so we can be more methodical. And remember, head on a swivel.
Yeah.
Oh, Long Beach looks like such a nice place.
It really does.
Anything?
He loves takeout.
Who doesn't?
Ooh.
What?
Found a meth
Paraphernalia.
pipe. Good for you.
You straight
Hey.
with us?
Both gloves.
Yeah.
They come in pairs. Sorry. It's whatever.
Look, could I talk to him first?
What are you, Dr. Phil?
That's it? You're done searching?
Oh, a fast search.
You don't think there might be meth where there's a meth pipe?
Yeah.
Interesting.
You want to go to jail? No.
Oh, a lecture. Here we go.
Call your dad. Right now.
I can't, bro.
I can't do that. Listen, man. Look at me. It's your only option here.
Hey, Dad, it's me. I'm with the police. Yeah. No. I know.
Go ahead. Tell him. Tell him you want help.
I want help.
There's usually a lot more yelling involved.
Yeah.
From experience.
Yeah.
Hey, but I don't know. Maybe in the Long Beach area, parents are more understanding. But
I mean, it is California.
yeah.
So.
The allowing the rookie to have some deference in how to do it for like the disposition of the stop, I think is reasonable. I think you're trying to see and exercise where their mindset is when approaching stuff like this. Obviously, there's substance abuse here. It's not
but making him call his dad is a little
right. He can't lawfully make him do it.
Right.
There's, especially if you're not going to take any enforcement action here. Now, if you're saying I'm either citing you for paraphernalia as I seize it, or I'm just going to destroy it. If you call your dad, I'll just destroy it and we'll call it a day. There's no paperwork. Or if you don't call your dad, I'm going to cite you for it. You got to show up to court. This whole 9. I'm going to seize it for evidence.
I'm still not even cool with that.
I'm with you because I think my philosophy on it is I'm either taking enforcement action or maybe giving a lecture. There's no happy medium. But I'm not going to force you to do stuff. Like, you're still an adult. I might give you the lecture on it. Like, hey, dude, like, you need to start thinking about what you're doing out here.
Yeah.
But like, and if I'm going to take enforcement action, there's no lecture.
Right. Well, but just the conditional enforcement action, I don't love.
Right. I agree.
That feels like a slippery slope.
Yeah. Well, because you're pressuring people into behavior you don't have any authority to pressure them into. Like, what's the difference between that and racketeering?
Right.
Like, pay me protection money or bad stuff happens. It's the same thing. So I'm with you on that. But I understand the writer's intent here, but it from a law enforcement perspective is a very dangerous precedent.
He wants me to come back home.
There you go. See light at the end of the tunnel.
Okay. Think we're good here? Get your stuff, please. You can take the pipe or destroy it. Your choice.
Ticket for littering.
Those trainees would have handled that differently.
Yeah, I think he might get clean.
Yeah, keep that optimism as long as you can.
That's good to see. I do like that she's not so jaded she can't appreciate somewhat the guardian mindset, right? Like, not to give trash to Officer Harper from the rookie too much, but I think that
detective.
It's good. Though detective.
It's detective to you, sir.
But she understands that she's probably handling it differently, and there's more senior officers that have seen the long-term effects of drug use, and after a while, like, you kind of have to protect people from themselves. But I do like that he's allowing this guy to have some agency over his life. He's young. Ultimately, that's how it's going to go down. Either he's going to make a personal change or he won't, and that he was willing to take the time to discuss it with him, at least try to urge him to go seek help. And then that's as much as you can add. I get what they're doing from a narrative standpoint, and I'm glad that they didn't show her, even though she's coming from clearly the more like old school law enforcement perspective, that she still can appreciate that young optimism of trying to make a difference. And that she clearly she wasn't disgusted by the exchange at all. She was a little like, thought it was adorable. She was like, oh, okay, go save the world, rookie. But, and I, generally speaking, I think a good field training officer can mediate their expectations for what law enforcement should look like and trying to maintain this kid's morale for as long as they can, to want him to do the job the right way. Dude, that scream, the later it got, by crushing your eyeballs.
You know what? You can hardly hear what you say to the guy.
Watching the body
here
cam.
for a reason. This is like my monastery. Let it all go.
I'm just saying, got nothing to worry about.
You've been on a whole 6 hours. Already you know what I should and shouldn't be worried about?
Here, take a look.
I don't need to report it. I made a threat. That is misconduct, and I'm better than that.
You want me to rat you out?
Can't ask you to lie for me.
Based.
All right, look, you don't gotta be so by the book for my benefit.
Oh, fuck the book. It's got nothing to do with that. I've got some people gunning for me. I don't want that coming off on you.
Well, I'm no snitch.
PLR identified a green Mustang, known associate of 187 of Officer Delgado, last observed southbound.
We're going.
100 block of East Hill Street.
Throw away your stuff. We're going. The exchange is a little weird. Can you report somebody for stuff like that for misconduct? Yes. Should you? Probably. I think there is so if I observe Bill going 11 miles per hour over the speed limit as opposed to 10, when policy says 10 while we're going code, not chasing a suspect, not reporting that.
No, that never happened. That would have never been
right.
Me or you.
Versus like him throwing a punch that probably shouldn't have gotten thrown, or you know what I mean, doing a whole like American History X thing, right? Like
saying I could smell weed when there was no weed to be smelled.
Right. That there is I understand and appreciate that policy is written often by people who don't do the job. And there is a difference in between somebody pushing the envelope on something. There's a really good example of this where a state trooper went the wrong way on traffic to stop a wrong way driver. He went to go stop a wrong way driver by hitting them with his patrol car, likely saving somebody's life. And at the very minimum, he mitigated risk. He said, I'll take all the risk of injury so that somebody else doesn't have to, which is what you want out of a police officer, right? And they decided to suspend that trooper for 30 days without pay, saying that it was a policy violation. Those of us on the street taking the risk ourselves of maybe not going home should get to decide a little bit of deference on what we're willing to, what risk we're willing to mediate and what policies we're willing to kind of push it on. That being said, policy is there to prevent misconduct. And that is the opportunity for both the public and for the people responsible for the legal side of the background, holding our commission and all that other stuff, to try to rein in some of that enthusiasm to want to do good. Also, they're not in a cesspool of sorrow, right? From going out there, getting abused, having to have officers die, having to, be exposed to traumatic events constantly. So they're likely also going to see it with a little bit less bias than we will. So I do understand both sides of the fence here. I think the exchange was a little contrived, if that makes any sense, for the sake of the narrative. And it makes it presents it in a way that I think a non-law enforcement officer would understand. So I think this is good for the audience. But for someone that's actually done it, these conversations are never happening. If it's misconduct, you're going to report it, especially if it's misconduct that you think is like dangerous. Versus, again, him going 1 mile per hour. Well, Bill, you know what policy says. You're not supposed to run plates and drive at the same time.
Would you report what she said?
Would I report what she said?
Yeah.
I think I would probably talk to a sergeant about it for sure, that is the protocol. I'd say, hey, Sarge, if you want to review it, you want to review it. I have issue with, because I don't like the idea of threatening to body bag somebody over whatever's going on. But likely, I think it all has to depend on if I thought an officer was saying it in jest, because I worked with that officer a lot. I've never seen him commit misconduct. Like he didn't actually go and take retributive justice. No. If in all honesty and transparency with the audience, probably not. But if that was somebody I didn't know and somebody I didn't work with, yeah, 100%. I'd be like, no, you can't be doing that. Hell no.
What if it was your first day and that was your PTO?
No, I wouldn't even know how to do it. You wouldn't even, that's not even a position. You are not in a position as a rookie to have power for it. That's kind of why there's sergeants over those training programs. They should have been vetting this FTO for years.
Yeah, because if I was I was in his position,
no.
There's
like
I'm not even going to rewatch the video.
Yeah, there's 1% chance I'm even considering it. And it's really just because you don't know. You just don't.
It
know
would
anything.
make me view them differently when I was.
Oh, sure.
Equal.
The lens of also which I'm taking in their training, and they talk about this a lot. They were field training officers I had that I did my best to not emulate.
Yeah.
And then there was ones that I learned a lot from.
True.
And they were upfront about that in training. They're like, there are some things that they do that's not misconduct, but it's probably not desirable. And there's stuff that really skirts the line on legal, right? And so I ended up taking after some, both for me morally, but also for the field training officers that I did had, that they say you want to be well within the boundaries of what the law allows you to do. There's a lot you can do in that boundary. He's like, but if you ever feel like you're on the toes of that, you better have a damn good reason to step on that line. That's what they said. And so it was, I lived by that after that. It was a very, very good lecture that I got, but I don't know. Yeah, you're not, this scenario never happens. that's all I'm saying.
Consider 187 suspect armed and dangerous.
Going now.
I think I know where they're headed.
So did you take the call?
Yeah, you're gonna notify.
Why are we here? Dispatch had the vehicle heading south.
East Barrio's been moving into this area, using some of the foreclosed homes as drop spots.
Pretty good beat, officer.
You want me to radio another
Very
unit?
good beat, officer.
I'll get some more eyes out here.
No. I want to play this out first.
There you go. There you go. That's pretty realistic.
Vehicle matching that description, moving eastbound down the 2200 block from Myrtle Avenue.
Copy, Charlie 85. Be advised, do not engage until back on the ride.
Hey, notified. Good job.
Can't see her on the van.
Let me know when you can see it. I have eyes on the license plate. It is Tom John 737.
Good on her. There she goes.
A high rate of speed northbound down the alleyway off of Myrtle Avenue.
What an animal.
Yikes.
Big yikes. For the amount of times I've yelled at a patrol car. Be faster, do better.
Go faster. And it never did.
It never did, no. Why don't you help with the radio, rookie?
He doesn't know where they are.
That's true.
He can't help. He doesn't even know what direction they're going.
Yeah, probably. Oh, nice. Perfect. Self-pit. Oh, red dots. My dog.
Love that.
Weapon mounted light. Weapon mounted light. Kick it on. Kick it on. Oh boy, 1,000-yard stare there.
Fuck! Fuck! Charlie 85, my partner's in foot pursuit. I still have one in the car.
Yeah, you can't leave. Good on him. Come on, rookie.
It's his first day.
Come on, rookie. This is not a good situation or a good idea because he has no idea where he's at, but...
No red dot, no weapon mounted light.
Yeah, good on him. It's pretty realistic. Hey, what's your 20, kid? He doesn't even hear the radio, I bet.
He can't talk. His hand is on his flashlight.
That's true.
Do you want to talk at all about the light discipline aspect?
No,
No,
not
he's a
really,
rookie.
because he's a rookie, but two, he's also searching. And so he is in a higher lit area looking into a lower lit area. He's wanting to... Also, you got to imagine that if this guy's running and trying to hide, this flashlight will keep him embedded versus him trying to run.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. Like, technically, in this instance, if you don't have the capability of taking him into custody, I'd almost rather keep him pinned by the light, if that makes any sense. Like him not trying to move or advance his position. The only downside is he doesn't really
He's
have
also...
a good way.
The rookie's also not trying to be that sneaky. Like,
Right.
It's moving so fast that
Right.
the guy's not bedded down, like, looking for the flashlight. There's,
Yeah.
I mean, until now, like, I guess we'll see what he does if he goes in this house.
But you're going to have announcements. He's probably already announced. Clearly, he knows the police are following him. Like, yes, from like a tactic standpoint, but like no from like him trying to keep this guy pinned so that they can take him into custody. You know, that can go either way in tactics, and I can understand both discussions. But ultimately, he just needs to be doing a little bit better job on the radio traffic. He's new, though.
Yeah.
This is pretty common. That's true. Bro, this fucking shit show. Him not responding like that.
Fucking ass!
Come on, Diaz.
Oh, man.
Taken home.
Come on,
Taken
Diaz.
home at the corner of Conley and Valley Drive. Suspects inside.
Wow.
Whoa, rookie! Oh, come
He
on.
took his earpiece out.
What an idiot. Okay,
Give me a
so
break.
liked seeing that there was a red dot on the. It's a more experienced officer, so currently training is slowly going out to law enforcement, or they're moving to that. They're forcing them to get trained to go do it. I do believe that's the future. Also seeing a weapon mounted light. It didn't get used, but at least it was there. This was precisely how Bill and I did all of our foot chases. That was with a flashlight in one hand and a gun in the other. Notice he was still able to go off and actually grab his handpiece, well, without letting go of his flashlight. That's why handpieces are great. I don't like the idea of him. Now, is any of the radio response going to help you in this moment? No, but I don't like the idea
get people
of him
to
ripping off
your
location
direction
faster.
at least.
What I used to do pre-fights is I would actually pull the plug in, because often it would happen without me wanting to, and I would just crank my radio traffic. In this instance, he's playing cat and mouse. There's a discussion to be had about the flashlight and him having to stalk this guy who's likely armed, right? He's already shot another officer. But this is the reality. This might be you if you decide that you want to go be a police officer. I am with the field training officer that I don't want him in this scenario by himself, but sometimes you don't get to pick the battles that you got. So let's see. Noland or not. Oh, I've been in this house one too many times. I would like to hear some announcements, but
Hands! Let me see your hands! What did I do?
I'm just smoking crack.
Sitting on a bucket.
Clear the
Jesus.
Not here. He must have gone
Stop
through a different...
talking. Charlie 85, suspect fled on foot and is still outstanding.
Good job.
You are the FTO. Why the fuck wasn't he listening to his radio? I am sick of your
Oh, dude, the chewing that would come out of that. Yeah. Because so what a lot of people fail to realize too is that this whole radio conversation that was happening where she's asking, hey, what's your 20? What's your 20?
Yeah.
Whatever.
That goes to everyone.
That's being heard by the whole department. The dispatch trying to welfare check you, other units likely coming to the scene, and all that kind of stuff. Like,
Well, and you were just in pursuit of the suspect in a police
shooting,
officer murder. So
Pretty big
everyone's listening.
Right. There's people from other sides of town changing their radio
There's
channels.
people that are at there's people that are at home that turn their radio on to listen.
So there's definitely a lecture coming for the FTO on this one. So that I'm glad that they're showing that first.
Yeah.
And that he's like, oh, I done stepped in it. I'm like, yes, you did. You did okay. I like the enthusiasm, but you are not that guy yet.
I am sick of your cowboy mentality.
Driver didn't make it. K9 and air support can't find Maniac, and Cortez is still out there, so we've got shit. And when I clock out, I got to explain to the watch commander why I disobeyed orders and I almost got my trainee killed. Didn't you hear me say stand
Yes,
down?
I did, but you said you were big on effort.
Yeah, I'm also big on IQ, all right? Entering alone is not smart.
What was I supposed to do, huh? Just let him get away?
You are not hearing me. What did Lasman tell you earlier?
Sergeant Lasman?
Yes, you two were chopping it up in the motor pool. What did he say?
Is she the one gunning for you?
Answer my fucking question, huh? What did he say to you? Did he tell you not to listen to me? Did he fill your head with more of that warrior mode bullshit?
He said Delgado was one of your trainees, and that you take her murder the hardest. I'm sorry. I didn't want to say anything. Okay, I'm trying to be respectful here.
Yes. Yeah, she was one of my trainees.
So
she was lucky to have you. It's the fastest you've ever gotten it back.
Keep it.
No. I'm not gonna need it.
You want to put money on that?
All units be advised, 211 in progress at 2415 Pacific Avenue.
Charlie 85, 2-minute ETA.
no, you're
Clear
not.
ahead. Still got half a shift to go.
No,
After
you
that?
don't. No, you sure don't.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
not-
Who's working that? Who's working that pursuit? Huh? Like that
Who's
fatal
working
accident?
that? Yeah, fatal accident, and then the use of force, and then the lecture that has yet to come about you running off on your own. Like,
Right.
you're not going to a call.
Yeah. I do like that she took a risk. She knew she took a risk, and she knew she was being a little stupid, right, as a police officer, which I can respect because she feels the need to go and I don't know, catch the person that killed her rookie, right?
Do we think that that's all this is?
That's all the evidence we got, Bill, okay? All we got is
All
rookie,
right.
all right?
All
That's
right.
we have. We're going based off of
Okay.
what we can prove,
All right.
But I do like that she did not just take it out on him for that. He's like, there's a lot more going on here than just you, and I get that you're part of it, but I'm not going to hold you. I'm not going to take out my frustration on the situation on you. You still need good training. You still need to understand what it's like. I'm disappointed in you, right? Like, I'm allowed to be that, but I'm not going to sit here and berate you and continue to erode your morale.
Yeah.
If it doesn't serve some sort of training objective, right? So that's actually, I think, reasonable and good. I've experienced both, where like I've either messed something up or I was slow to do something or whatever, and I've just been straight lectured. I get it, and I was like, well, okay, I earned this one.
Yeah.
And I've also had it where there was a little bit of leniency because they were like, this was a lot for anybody. Like, I've watched senior officers screw this thing up. Like, you didn't do too bad. For a rookie, I'll give you a pass. You do this in 2 years and I'll go beat your ass, right? But like, it's a whole different discussion. Let me guess, they're going back to that same house. With ODing mom. I'm not mad about that so far.
Yeah, I liked it.
That is season 1, episode 1. That is the pilot episode of On Call. That's probably, outside of maybe Southland, probably the most realistic I've seen as far as like interpersonal relationships, as far as the command staff.
Yeah.
This is like from the lieutenants down. From policy, there's some weird things in there, which is fine. There's going to be some things thematic that need to happen.
I would say first episode wise, this could go right up there with Southland.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I was very impressed. I think also the themes they decided to approach as far as how complicated the job can be. Yeah. The relationship between a field training officer and a rookie. And it's kind of more of a, they're treating it more sacredly. She's not just some like jaded old person, right? Like, she clearly still wants to do the job very well. Clearly is not going to cut the legs out from under a rookie just because they still want to make a difference.
Well, and she's still very serious about the job,
right?
But it doesn't come off as goofy as it does with like Bradford.
Right.
Like,
Well, there's some weird stuff going on.
Yeah, it's just like you can tell she's business and like all business, and she doesn't have to give off that I'm better than you boot attitude.
Right. I think too, she's a lot more approachable, like, and personable. You're stuck with them for hours. Like, it would be exhausting to be around somebody that was kind of constantly berating you about stuff all the time. So I think that's a lot. It was at least closer to my actual experience of doing it. Like, there was definitely times where I messed up and I got lectured or I got made fun of or whatever. Like, it totally
Would you say that this was like one of your PTOs?
It was close. Mine was a little meaner. Mine was a little closer to
I was gonna
Bradford
say
than that, yeah.
less personable, but I feel
You know
like
what?
the knowledge and then the work ethic very similar.
The last week I had with her was exactly like that, actually.
Yeah.
Where we were much more casual about, she's like, all right, you're not going to screw up. I feel pretty confident in that, but I had to see it. I had to see you through it first. So it was good.
And in her defense, I feel like she took being a PTO pretty seriously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she didn't want someone she trained going out there and being a fuck up. So.
Right. And for all the feelings I probably had there in the moment, she was one of the last people I actually talked to before I left.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe that she saved my life more than once. Not directly, but indirectly from helping me to develop a more healthy approach to, like, danger.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and all that kind of stuff. And then
I had one of those PTOs as well.
Right. And it's interesting. I think it was by the time Bill and I got an opportunity to actually work very closely to one another, you could tell, even though we were very close in academy, like, we were one of the older people that were in academy. Yeah. We were part of the not 21-year-old group, but also that, like, we had come from that stock. We got it. We understood it. We didn't dodge calls. We took the job very seriously, but we also, like, pushed it to want to do better and also to want to legitimately combat things that are plaguing the city and crime. And in essence, victimization is a plague, and that is technically your job to go fight that. And so when you come from that mindset, you tend to, you notice that she got a lot of love from us pretty early, because I was like, oh, I can respect that. I can get behind that. There's at the very least, shout out to whoever helped these writers do a better job. You have elevated my expectations. I am preseason Cowboys fan right now. Or this is our year. We're gonna do it.
I also like the way it's produced.
Yeah, very good. I think this is. I don't want to disappoint or offend or upset anybody, but this is like Southland's the closest. Maybe End of Watch had a very similar tone. That was a little less serious than this is. This is a very good, honest approach at it. I'd be curious to see how they tackle some of the more complicated topics.
Yeah,
because clearly
it'll be
tough
for me to ever say there's a better movie than End of Watch and a better show than Southland.
But this is close.
This is so far.
It's got to earn it. But so far, kudos to Amazon for putting it together. And kudos to everybody that suggested it, because we do listen to you. So if you want to have more influence in the stuff that we do and increase the frequency of which we do it, you can do so by becoming a member of the Patreon group or becoming a member here on YouTube for as little as $1 a month. You can get direct access to our Discord, where I can't ignore you because you can literally add me to my personal phone. And then in the comment section below, I do read and respond to all of them, good, bad, and ugly. So we do that. So go ahead and do it. Support the people out there, supporting you guys and our ability to have this wonderful place that we live. And then thank you for riding 2-man with us. Until next time, peace.